Hey there, and welcome to That's Audacious, where we share entrepreneurial stories from amazing leaders to inspire and motivate you to be bold, brave, and audacious. I'm your host, Lauren Clemett, the brand navigator, here to share stories that will make you say, well, that's audacious. Hello and welcome to another episode of That's Audacious, where we have the most amazing conversations with incredible people doing audacious things. Now, today, our fabulous guest is the gorgeous Kylie King, who's the founder of the Australian Ladies in Business Initiative, and I'm going to find out a lot more about that from Kylie today. She's also the creator of the Alibi Awards, and she's all about making business feel less lonely and more celebratory, which is exactly up our alley, but especially for women juggling life, work, and big dreams. Kylie, why? Why did you start doing it? Where have you come from that you've gone, you know what, we need this for women? What was it about your journey and what you've been doing that's led you to where you are now?
Oh, Lauren, we've only got 20 minutes, so I'm going to try and summarize it a little bit. So I have a master's in business background, and I worked for many, many years in corporate as a senior manager for big establishments, a lot of big companies in Australia. And I got burnt out. Pretty much as simple. I got burnt out. I had a baby, and then I realized that I was never seeing this beautiful baby that I'd had. I would go to work, she'd be asleep. I'd come home, she'd be asleep. And with that, and that whole identity shift of being a mum, but loving what I'm doing, and I broke. I had that, one of those moments where you're on the bathroom floor or the kitchen floor. It's always a tiled, cold floor, and you're crying, and you're like, what am I doing? What's going on? Where is the next step? This doesn't feel right to me. And my work, unfortunately, even though I loved what I was doing, they weren't willing to budge on the hourly component that they wanted me there for. And I couldn't budge on this beautiful little girl that I had just brought into the world. So I decided to leave, and I then had no idea what I was doing, where I was going, what was happening, until someone said to me, you know what, why don't you take what you were doing and what you were so passionate about, but make it work for you? Mm-hmm. How can you do that? So I started a business in coaching, so in business coaching. So taking, the work I had done where I was managing hundreds of staff, we were reaching budgets and KPIs of 30 million a year, and bring it into this. And then what I realized working with amazing small business owners was it's not really the business tools, it was putting themselves out there, and it was all about mindset. So you can get all the business tools and tips and tricks, but if you don't have the mindset to push you or get over that procrastination or put yourself forward and say, this is me, I'm here to do what I need to do, it stops you and it halts your business. So I ended up changing that business into more of a mindset coaching business through hypnotherapy and lots of other cool modalities. And I was actually approached I would say about 5 or 6 years ago, by another lady who said, I'm running networking groups in the area. Is this something that you would be interested in doing, to connect with others, to bring what you have? And I was like, no, I'm good. It was like full hero's journey moment, Lauren. When you first get approached and you're like, no, I got no time. I got 2 babies now. I'm doing the business thing. I've got no time. And she poked me again and she's like, you really need to do this. Like, I really feel this for you. And I said, I'll give it a go. What could happen? And that networking group grew. It was with another international organization that unfortunately doesn't exist anymore, but it grew to having, I think we've got 2,000 members locally in the Penrith Blue Mountains area. So represent, it's still going on. And then they asked me to be the Australian coordinator. And we grew that organization to having over 75 networking groups through Australia and New Zealand. And unfortunately, the 2 founders had a moment, as I think most partnerships do, and that moment didn't survive, and that business went under and it pulled from Australia, and it doesn't exist anymore. And in that moment, I had 75 ladies running communities going, what now? Like, we've had the wind taken out of us, we've got these beautiful communities and there's nowhere to go and there's nothing to do, and what can we do? And I went, you know what, I'm just going to start a group called Australian Ladies in Business Initiative. If you guys want to come on board, come and join me. If not, we'll just see where this goes. There was no real intention for it to grow where it has grown now. And as we come into 5 years, the community's got, I think, about 6,000 members, all are in Australia. And now we have the amazing Alibi Awards, as well as other memberships and business things to assist women in business.
I love it. The nicest part about that whole journey is there was a light bulb moment as a mum with a baby going, I've got to do something about taking control of my own destiny. And then there's another baby that you've created as something that, and women do this all the time, don't we? We go, oh, there's a gap, there's a need. I'm just going to step up. I'm going to step into that role. I'm going to take control of the situation and I'm going to fill this gap for people. So awesome, Kylie. Well done on all you've achieved over that time. So the Australian Ladies in Business Initiative is open to any woman who's in business in Australia. Is that right?
100%. So we don't care if you've got fur babies, you've got kids, you're, a man child, whatever you're rocking, please come and join. It's open to all women. And even if you're aspiring to be a business owner, you're not there yet, you're a side hustle, whatever's happening, it's open for everyone to just come and have that sense of community. And as I say, to celebrate the successes, but also to celebrate those messy middles, those face plants. That's what we're here to work together and help you to reach whatever success you want to reach, whether that is entering in awards or not, whatever path that you want to take.
Yeah, I love it. So why do you think it is that women need this sort of support more than men? What is it about? Because I know there's some stats that there are more small businesses being opened by women than men in Australia. But of course, you've also got the flip side of that, which is 97% of businesses don't last past 5 years. So what is it? What do you see as the growing need for women to have that support and looking for initiatives like what you've started?
If I go back and take onto some of the mindset work that I do, it's not just a recent thing. We're talking like generations. We're talking about even back, if you want to go a little bit woo-woo and talk about the witch wound, like back in all of that, where we've always been told, good kids are seen and not heard. Women just get it done. Here is everything you need to do. You're here to support the family. And with it, that changing, we went from housewives in the 50s to now, okay, what can we do? We need to start contributing to the household more to feel like we're a part of it. But then we're taking on more things. So then we're now running businesses as well and juggling everything. And there's so much happening. And the reason that I think a lot of small businesses don't continue is because of a lack of support. Because if it comes down to something, say, for example, just giving you my mum glasses, sick kids or things that happen, sometimes, if your partner is the main breadwinner, then if there is a sick child, that's on you to look after, even if you're running a business. Or if there's something else happening in the family, you've got to be the perfect aunt, the perfect sister, the perfect mother, the perfect whatever, that sometimes you're like, okay, what has to give? Well, I love this business, but as a woman, I'm used to putting myself last. So I'm going to put the business last. And then unfortunately, it doesn't survive. So,
and that word, you've used that word a few times about perfect. Why do women always either wait or want it to be perfect before they will do something and really step up and do those sorts of things?
I feel it's just that fear of coming out and doing it. Also depends, before anyone puts it out there, there's fear of judgment, the fear of rejection. Well, if I show up perfectly, we've been taught that from social media and media for so long. You need to be perfect, you have to have the perfect body, you got to have the perfect skin. Like I was just talking about this because I teach business on the side and I have some beautiful young students that I'm teaching. And they were talking about, it's about, they have to always show up perfectly. They've had this phone in their hand the whole time saying you need to do this and you need to do that. And they're constantly dictated to because they don't want to then put something out there and be, made fun of or feel rejected or all of these other sort of things. And that has carried with us this whole way. And a lot of the, imposter syndrome. Well, who's going to think that I can do that when I'm doing multiple things? And I'm trying to juggle all the things. I can't show up perfectly for each one. So,
yeah, the juggle struggle, that's realism. Yeah. I'm very, very pleased that as I was growing up as a young woman, the internet didn't exist. So there's no social media evidence of what I got up to, thankfully. But it is interesting, isn't it, that there are layers and layers of pressure that women are under and I don't think the media helps when it paints a picture of a perfect life. Yeah. And certainly social media has got a lot to answer for that as well. But what was the reason why? Okay, so you're running the business initiative. You've got this amazing growing community and you're supporting women and there's people running networking and so on. Why did you then go, oh, I know, I'll add to my plate. Let me do something else as well. Let's run the Alibi Awards. What made you think that they were needed?
So at the time I was entering awards myself, and I saw that they were a great marketing opportunity for the business because I was connecting, I was getting my name out there. I was then asked to judge. So I've judged for the Stevie Awards, I've judged for some other awards out there. And there was a lot of discussion in the community that they felt that a lot of awards were rigged, or they weren't getting it, or why is this person winning, or this business is winning and they're not, their business, what was it? I think a business won and they hadn't been operating for 5 months. And everyone was like, what's going on? Like, how could they win a trophy? And I said, well, if you could I put it into the community, if you could create awards, what would it look like? And everyone started giving me things. And then one of these beautiful members, and I shout out to Michaela if she's watching, but she said, you know what, Kylie, I dare you. And as a businesswoman and an entrepreneur, and I know that anyone that gives me a challenge, I'm like, whatever, like I'll do that. So yeah, she said, I dare you to create your own awards. And silly me thinking, what's an awards program, right? It's easy. I see them do it. And then I did that first year in the trenches. And can I say, whoa, like I've run events before, but an awards program is its own beast. Like it's its own. I love the beast, but it takes a while to figure it out. And there's a lot of things behind the scenes as well. And and a lot of, because awards are popping up every now and then, everywhere, Lauren, at the moment, everyone, there's all these awards. And I would just say that when you're entering it, please use discernment. Have a look at certain things, like, do the awards have a terms and conditions? Do they tell you what it involves? Just so you know, is it just to take money, or is there a reason that they are pay to play? Because there is a lot of costs that come with an awards program that many people don't see, but there's a lot of other things that do it. So because I accepted that challenge, the Alibi Awards came to be, and it has been a very community-led process. So in our Facebook community, Australian Ladies in Business, I ask everything in there, and I get feedback from there and we implement it. So the categories chosen by the community, named by the community, the trophies picked by the community. Everything has been very community run, and we just go off the feedback. So it's a constantly evolving process. Like next year, it'll probably look different. And I know this year it looks different than it did last year.
Yeah, brilliant. I love it. And the nice thing about this is that integrity around awards. I think people are starting to become a little bit more aware. I mean, I think I get 7 emails a day that say, yay, you've won, or we want to feature you on the front cover of this magazine, or, you've been selected. And to a point, it feels nice to be selected. There's that nice little ego trip, and to be noticed. But yes, you're right. You dig a little bit deeper and you discover that, oh yeah, $2,500, thank you very much, to participate. So yeah, discernment, I think, is starting to be a little bit more interesting, because there are so many awards out there. But also I think people, that whole as seen on TV thing, yes. I think also people are a little bit aware that you can pay to get that. And it's about earning it rather than just paying to enter. Not to say that there aren't, I mean, you've got award entry fees. You should be, chances are, if you're entering an award, and as you say, they haven't got T's and C's, they don't have a judging criteria, they don't have a format, they don't have, maybe even if they charge no entry fee, but they charge a lot to buy a trophy or whatever it is. Yeah. You still have to invest your time, don't you? You still have to invest your time in entering. So there's going to be some sort of cost to do it. So let's talk about the Alibi Awards specifically. So do you have to be a member of the initiative in order to enter these? Or are they open to any woman in business across Australia?
They are open, but I do ask that you come and join our free community. So I'm not asking you to sign up to a membership, but we have this beautiful Facebook community there that then you're sharing and you're feeling the vibe. So I do ask that you come and join that free community, because then you get the know-how, you know how everything is. Is there any updates to the awards? It's all in there. So we do ask that you have to have an ABN, and then you have to be in there. And I think that's really important.
Yeah, brilliant. And again, it's another thing I love about the Alibi Awards is it is about that community, and it's about supporting each other, and giving that advice and helping each other through the whole process. You are listening to the That's Audacious podcast. If you like what you are hearing, there are lots of other episodes with interviews with amazing people, and you can find those on all of your favorite podcast channels. Now, Kylie, let's talk specifically about some of these amazing categories that you have in the Alibi Awards, because they are named beautifully. I love the fact that your community has named them. So I know on your website, and there will be a link to the website, guys, at the bottom of this interview, that you can go and check them out yourselves. But there are things like Bright Spark for people who've just started. That's like 0 to 3 years in business. Community leaders. Earth Keeper, which is just beautiful. First Nations businesses, Golden Entrepreneur for people aged 55 plus. There's almost a category for everyone, isn't there? Are there some categories, though, that you find are really popular, Kylie, compared to others?
Oh, it changes every year. Like every year, I think this is going to be the category. So last year, Rising Star. So the ladies that are in business 4 to 10 years, that's quite a popular category every year moving forward. Last year, there was a lot of entries in regional superstars. So it showed me that we were really reaching out to more regional locations. So that's always a big one. This year so far, because we have opened on the 1st, it has been spiritual leaders. So our beautiful, the coaches and the psychics and the crystal shops and all of that, that has been the biggest one to come forward. So that's been a nice move to see, because that was only a recently added category, I think, from last year because of what the community asked for.
Yeah, I love it. I love it. And I mean, it's everything really, isn't it? As you say, from professional services, you might have a small side hustle, you might have an online business, or see, a lot of people, and the biggest misnomer, I think, with awards is people think you have to have had some massive growth or some sort of phenomenal profit growth or sales growth, or you've gone through the roof. And most people go, oh, I don't know if I've had a good enough year in order to enter awards. And yet the categories you've got: overcoming the odds, social change maker, the Phoenix Award, they're not about what you've actually achieved monetarily. They're more about how you've adapted and you've been flexible and you've actually come back with even more gusto. So is this going to take a long time for someone to enter these awards? Are there lots and lots of questions and they've got to do videos and all sorts of stuff? What do they have to do?
So to enter the awards there is a written submission. So there is roughly about 10 questions, but it does talk about very similar, what are your achievements? What are your challenges? All of that. And it's really to reflect on. When these awards were created, they were created with a purpose. Like, I got a committee. It wasn't just me that said, we're going to dictate these questions. I didn't go into ChatGPT. I sat down with a committee of people, entrepreneurs, doctors in business, studies at unis, all of that. And we sat down and we said, what can we do here to make the best, and how we would do it. So that's through the questions in the written submission, also through the judges' criteria, which we actually have a set criteria. So once you've done your written submission, we then actually call you and let you know that you're a finalist. Because we want that personal touch, right? To us, you're not just a number. You're not just thank you for your money, see you later. It's that personal touch. We want to know you. We want to know your business. We want to promote your business, right? That's what we're here to do. There is a video submission. Now, I know a lot of people are going to cringe at video submissions, but there's a purpose to that. One, we're moving with tech into more videos. Two, copywriters are great. Lauren, you're a great copywriter, but also sometimes you can't convey what you're saying in writing. It doesn't have a tone. Whereas if you're giving me a video and you're just speaking 100% from your passion and your heart, it comes across differently. So there is a 5-minute video submission, and it's pretty much just rehashing the questions in the written submission, but giving you that opportunity to share your heart, to share that courage, to go, look, this is what's happening. Especially as you mentioned with categories like the Phoenix Award and the overcoming the odds, it's hard to tell your journey when you write it down. That can be quite a cathartic process, but when you speak about it completely different. So there is a video submission, and then once that's done, it does go to a judge's criteria. And the best thing about our awards, and I do want to mention, is we give you feedback, because that's what was important to me. Is I could keep entering awards, but why did this business win and I didn't? What was the feedback that I was provided? If it's not brought into my awareness, how can I then use that to enter other awards and win? And we've had that happen where people have entered our awards, taken the feedback on, and then they've gone on to win Small Business Champions or other things. So we don't give the whole judge's feedback. We don't give you the whole matrix that we have, but we do give you written statements from 3 judges that go, this is what we think you could do to not only improve this awards process, but to improve your business and what you're showing to the world.
Brilliant. So it really is not just an award. It's like a health check of where you're at. It's an opportunity to reflect on where you've come from, but also get that feedback to help you keep growing and moving. I love it. The thing I love as well about the fact you've got part of your submission is done on video is it overcomes the issue around AI. And we're seeing this a lot. We're seeing a lot of people using AI to write their award submissions, which is fine. And there's definitely a use for that. But when you're doing a video, it's you. It's the real you appearing and sharing your story. So that's really cool. Any tips that you might have, Kylie, for people looking at the Alibi Awards, maybe around how to choose the right category and then how to make sure that they're putting their best foot forward?
So I would firstly say, have a read through the categories. So I've created a lot of descriptions on who should enter, why you would be the best for it. Don't hold back. If a category speaks to you, enter it, because at the end of the day, remember that the awards can only be judged on the people that enter. So if there's 3 people entering a category, the award's got to go to whoever. So if you feel called to it, if you're still not sure, it's why we have the community. Drop a comment in there, drop a thing. What do you think I'm good for? Because there might be a category that you didn't even think of. You didn't think you were a good fit for it. And I did have that last year. A lady didn't think she was a good fit. She asked the question. She ended up taking the trophy home. So she not only took that category, she walked away with the trophy and was like, I didn't think that my business fit into this, but I got the trophy and I took it home. In regards to tips, our values for Alibi is all about authenticity. So showing up as you. So even with these video submissions, we don't care. The judges don't care if you've got baby vomit on your shirt, you've got no makeup on, you're a hot mess, there's kids screaming in the background. As long as we can hear you and your story, that video goes nowhere but to the judges, and they don't care. They care about the content of what you're delivering. So as long as you follow the values, which for our values is authenticity, integrity, community, courage, and you're doing that by entering an awards, you're showing courage and having some fun. So have some fun with your video. If you feel, chuck a joke in there. They don't have to be serious, but have a bit of fun. It's so important, because running a business and with everything that's going on, it's tough, right? We get it. And we started a business generally out of a dream to do something different. We didn't want to work for someone else. We didn't want to be stuck in an 80-hour job and not seeing our kids. So have fun, bring it a bit of sense. And then, it lightens the vibe. These awards processes are meant to be fun and to reflect on where you've come from, and then to be like, I'm here to celebrate with other amazing women. So do that. Have some fun.
I love it. Bring some sass. That's what we're going to see, some sass from some of these amazing women in business. So give us some of the details. They're open now, and we're recording this in early June. When do they close? When do people need to get their entries in? What's the cost? How many categories can they enter? All that sort of stuff.
So there's 24 categories across a wide range of things. It costs $99, including GST, to enter. So you can enter as many categories as you like, completely up to you. It launched on the 1st of June, and our nominations will close on the 4th of August. However, the written submissions, we give you an extra week of leeway because, busy mums and stuff, busy ladies. So that our submission shut on the 11th of August. Our awards night is in Penrith at the Western Sydney Conference Centre, which is a beautiful, beautiful venue. It's newly built, and they are very welcome to have us. They're so excited that we're coming back this year, and that's on the 17th of October. So if you need anything or have any other questions, please just jump into the Australian Ladies in Business community, because I think it's really important just to see if the brand aligns with you. I don't want you to enter an awards and you're like, oh, I just entered. Have a look around the community, check out our website. Does it align? Do you like us? If not, don't enter, and that's fine.
Yeah, I love it. And that is about alignment, isn't it? It's something that you talked about very early on in terms of the mindset and wanting things to be perfect and so on, and holding yourself back from opportunities because you don't think you've done enough. All of those things you can overcome with that, just looking at what you've achieved and going through the process of entering awards is a great way to overcome that imposter syndrome, or answering that itty bitty shitty committee, I call them, in your mind that's going, you're not good enough and why are you here? But yeah, alignment, absolutely, and working out what you want to be recognized for, and then aligning yourself with the right awards and the right categories. Kylie, today has been extraordinary. I've learned so much more about you and about the awards and your purpose and everything else. I asked the same question of everybody who comes on the podcast at the end of our conversation, and that is, if you could go back in time to any time that you want to, what advice would you give yourself that would help you today?
Wow. I would have to say to that lady that was crying on that bathroom floor, figuring out what the frig was going on, it's going to change. Just one step forward. That's it. Just get off the floor and keep moving. Because once I took that first step and I've moved forward, it's been my oldest is 9 now. So it's been that journey now that I've been, and I'm in a completely different place doing something I love in my own office space right now, and I wouldn't change it. So I would just say to her, get up, keep moving one step. It's not going to be it's going to change. Just keep moving forward.
I love it. One step at a time. So if you've been listening to this and you're now really inspired to enter the Alibi Awards, just take that one step. Go and check out the website. The link will be there. Have a look at the categories. Join the online community. It's totally free to join that. And you can ask questions and give people some ideas around what you do so they can help you choose the right categories. But what great awards, the Alibi Awards. If you're a woman in business in Australia, check them out. They are so accessible and so collaborative and such a great way to review where you're at, as well as obviously the benefit of being part of an amazing community and maybe taking home a trophy, which is awesome. So thank you, Kylie. Any last minute tips or ideas or motivation that you'd like to leave for our listeners who are thinking about what it's like to be in business as a woman and what you could be doing to improve your success into the future?
I would just say whatever you're not changing, you're choosing. So if you're ready to go, this is my business and I'm going to stand up for it and I'm going to not do the tall poppy syndrome. I'm not going to worry. I'm going to stand up and go, this is my business. This is what I want to be recognized. This is the way to get started. Because not only will you be embraced for your courage in our beautiful community, but it's that taking that time to go, look, I'm here. This is what I do. And this is how I do it.
Yeah, not hiding away. No, you absolutely deserve to step into the spotlight, ladies. So make sure you check it out. Thank you so much, Kylie. It's been such a pleasure to interview you on the That's Audacious podcast, and we'll speak again soon.
Thank you, Lauren.
Thanks so much for listening to the That's Audacious podcast. Remember, there's no place for modesty in business, and you do deserve to be well known, well paid, and wanted. For more episodes, please subscribe to the podcast on your favourite channel or follow us online. The links are in the description below.